Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup show. About 10 minutes after 6, so about 50 more minutes left in tonight's program, and we appreciate you watching and listening in, whether it be on TV or radio. If you have anything you'd like to discuss, you can call 256-234-6221. Again, this segment is brought to you by U.S. Bank, and we appreciate them as well as the rest of our sponsors for being a part of our show. As we talked about in the first segment, our next guest, Shannon Woody, who is a senior forward for the Benjamin Russell Wildcat basketball team. He was a part of a pretty spectacular play on last week. So why don't we go ahead and show that clip first? About 50 more minutes left in tonight's program, and we appreciate you watching and listening in, whether it be on TV or radio. Well, in the meantime, while we discuss, Shannon, again, you were part of a pretty spectacular play, and while we get ready for it to load up, just can you talk a little bit about the play itself and kind of describe the game winner?
So, like, after we turned the ball over and they scored, right, you know, the game is never over to the final horn signs, and that's what I've always been taught. So I figured, give it a chance. You know, don't take the shot, there's no chance to win the game. And I practice that shot a lot, like, all the time. You can ask around the city. That's pretty much what I do.
I got you. Well, I think we got the clip here. Take it away, guys. Here we go. And at this point, I really was thinking, I was like, man, it may be over right here. But you said 1.6 to go, get the playoff, crowd goes wild. And so you talk about that, about you taking the shots. And I can remember last year just being amazed at the distance. You know, they would say baby Steph or whatever it may be. And so, like, the distance in terms of your shooting is something that obviously you put a lot of work in. So was the three-point shot always like that? That was your thing coming up?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not really like a line hugger. I just shoot if I'm open.
You do. You got the quick release, and as a shooter, what do you think is the most important part of being able to be as successful as you have been from the perimeter?
Getting your feet all the way around and follow through.
I got you. Well, at last check, the video had about 8,500 views after the game on last Thursday. So what, from your Facebook messages and notifications on Twitter and Facebook, how's that been?
It's been blowing up big time. More than ever.
More than ever. And so when you shot, did you know it was going in? I mean, could you feel like it was going to have a good opportunity to go in?
I feel it had a great chance to go in.
And so what is Coach Hines saying after the game when scores up, when the clock ends, it hits 0? What is Coach Horn saying? Coach Hines saying after the game?
He said it was a great shot. He shook my hand and told me that. And we was hyped in the locker room, for sure.
Well, obviously, again, this is a Wildcat campaign where you guys still in the thick of things in terms of the playoffs, area plays getting ready to start. So can you just give your thoughts on how the season has been going so far?
Yeah, we started out slow, 0-4, but we're coming along pretty good. I think we're going to have a pretty good season.
Gotcha. And so again, and people come in and they watch the games, and you look at a lot of these scores. A lot of them have been in the single digits. Jeff Davis, Wetumpka, the game against Jackson on Friday, Central Coosa even at times was kind of sporadic, but it got close toward the end. So a lot of these games really have just been lost at the end. So if you've had the opportunity, as I have, to really watch this team, they're so close to really putting it together. And so this would be no better time than now, when area play is about to start.
Yeah, I feel we got the team to do it, take it all the way.
What would you say the biggest strength of this year's team is?
Experience. We all seniors and we're pretty quick too. Get up and down the floor.
Well, we're with Shannon Woody, who was responsible for the game-winning shot in overtime versus Stanhope Elmore last week during the 3rd annual Lake Martin Slam Fest. And you guys do fall to Jackson in the championship round, but I think playing in a tournament like this, where in terms of the importance of winning isn't necessarily the same as it would be for a regular season game, but this was good to kind of get some exposure from some other teams, and you guys played some pretty good competition within the tournament.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, again, you talk about finishing strong and the experience. What are some things you think the team needs to do to make sure that you guys finish out the way you should?
We got to all be on the same page. Some of us can't be doing one thing and others doing another. But all in all, I think we're going to have a great season.
Got you. And again, you're a Wildcat senior, so you've been a part of the program for quite some time. Can you reflect back on your time as a Wildcat and maybe tell me something outside of this shot, obviously, because that's probably one of the better moments, but some of your best moments of playing as a varsity player?
Let's see, I say my junior season. I was in Shelby County, had a Thanksgiving tournament. I got my first dunk. It felt great.
All right, well, let me ask you, what's better, getting the dunk or getting the three?
That's it. That go hand in hand because I ain't get much publicity for the dunk. That's a three.
I got you. Well, again, before the season started, I kind of, well, toward the end of last year, I was asking guys, you know, kind of what do you want your nickname to be and what kind of how you wanted me to call you out. And before the season started this year, you told me, you got to make sure you call me Too Sharp. So for those who may not be familiar, how did you get the name Too Sharp?
I had got the name as a kid. You know, the football player Shannon Sharp. That's how I got my first name too. And I'm second, so Too Sharp.
I got you. Okay. I'm the second too, so that's good to know. Well, as we wrap things up, what are some of your plans from the post-high school side? Are you hoping to be able to play somewhere after high school?
Yeah, hopefully I can get an offer after the season. Because as of now, I have none. I'm going to keep working though.
Well, hopefully shots like this will keep your name around and keep you buzzing. But Shannon, congratulations on the great shot and on the season so far. And we look forward to catching up with you on the post end. And again, for anybody who's watching this interview will be posted later on our social media outlets, and so you have an opportunity to catch this as well as Shannon's shot from last week. That'll wrap things up for this segment. Again, this was Shannon Woody, senior forward for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll return more of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show right after this.